I know. I'm joining ranks with literally every girl who agrees that the Cinderella story isn't just overrated, it's outdated. Now, before you grab your pitchforks, allow me to explain. Cinderella wasn't just my first Disney princess exposure. It was my favorite. I had themed birthday parties, a special pining for a particular Cinderella Barbie doll I never got. Seriously, I had dreams about the thing. And I watched it enough to have it memorized by heart. I lived and breathed Cinderella. And while I know every story has a different form and there are way too many to count to date, which involves the main character literally giving up every chance she gets to easily, and I'm talking easily, with a capital E, could have fixed the problem, but didn't.
I didn't lie about anything.
Oh, but chicken, you did. At least that's what Guy thinks now that I've clarified. I told him it was Bev's demo and that you stole it from her.
You can't do that. That's my song.
It's Bev's song. And Guy can't wait to see her perform it at the showcase. You try to contact him, I'll deny everything and lock you in the basement.
She can't sing to save her life.
No, but you can. Can't you?
How can I be an artist when you can't be bothered to do your job? Which, by the way, is fetching me bubbly water. Agua con buble, comprende? Are you trying to ruin me?
I'm sorry, it won't happen again.
There are people who would just kill for this job. Important people. You bubble me now or you're grounded forever. And stay out of my dressing room. I hate your energy. It's ugly and sad and lonely.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Mary. That was the last bottle of bubbly.
No, thank you, Britt. Your mom's gonna kill me.
What I meant is, what are you doing with your life?
I'm diner girl. I'm doing what diner girls do, Rhonda.
Baby, what's gotten into you? You don't even realize how blessed you are. Look, you've got a whole family behind you. We have faith in you. And you gotta have faith in yourself.
Well, I'm going off to get some more lipo. Come on, girls. Someone need you to clean the pool tonight. No. Excuse me? You heard me. I quit. I quit this job. I quit your family. And I'm moving out.
Oh, and where are you gonna live? With me. You can't just walk out on me.
You know what, Fiona? You can mess with your hair and your nose and your face. And you can even mess with my dad's diner. But you're through messing with me.
The original may have promoted the idea that girls aspiring after one of the first Disney princesses should be humble, quiet, and submissive creatures of a mysterious nature. I think these versions are kind of insulting. That being said, I love all of them, and I happily binge-watched every version I could find an excuse to make this video, so don't come at me. Cinderella has been taken and twisted to form all different angles to fit every era and slides easily into any given time frame. It has become so easy to adapt that there are parallels in books and movies that have nothing to do with the fairy tale. But they all have everything to do with a particular trope, a little thing I like to call Cinderella Syndrome.
So this is love. So this is love. So this is what makes life divine. I'm all aglow. And now I know.
I could go on forever about the cheesy cliches. The starry-eyed meet-cutes, the mysterious stranger may tell, the unabashed and unashamed haters, to the sidekick best friend meant to bring out the best in our Cinderella because she's just too shy and modest to admit she might be able to make something of herself. But no, that's not part of the Cinderella Syndrome. I mean, the fake shy modest part is definitely a symptom, but it is a mere side effect to the real problem I've discovered. And I was hesitant to even compare the original to modern day remakes. It was a different day and it was a different era. Femininity was definitely seen differently, and we all know it was the decade of housewives and homemakers.
Sure, you know, the only reason that women claim that housework is so hard is because they don't use their heads.
I guess so.
What you got there?
Oh, I brought my cake.
Ah.
7 layers of luscious devil's food. Well, you see it.
What happened to the other 6 layers?
Well, they're all in there. Some of them just didn't rise very much.
Well, you can put on a lot of frosting.
What do you mean, put on? Frosting's already in it.
Well, let me see. I got the chickens cooking in the pressure cooker.
Yeah?
Now, how long do you think they should take?
Oh, I don't know. I'd say about an hour now.
What was that? What was that? Hurry up, will you?
What was that noise? Oh, don't burn yourself.
Hey, what happened to my chickens? I had 2 chickens in there.
Men didn't want loud, outspoken, independent females because they wanted to come home and relax with a nice warm dinner with a fam. Or so we've been told.
Are those your birds up there?
Yeah. Well, let's wash them off. Come on.
All right.
We've adjusted our lifestyles and even modernized our Cinderellas. Most particularly in the form of singing pop stars, because that's like the easiest talent to sub if the actress doesn't have the right chops. You would think we've evolved this character enough that the new and improved Cinderellas would boast independence, ambition, and wit to today's generation. But according to most of the POVs I've seen in TikTok trying to pass for the next dystopian selection-inspired movies, we are far from that. We haven't quite come out of the shell of wanting to secretly be that special one that is chosen and labeled not special / but special. Don't ask me why these same POVs involve literally placing each character in a color-coded box waiting to be the next Triss or Katniss when no one is looking. I think it's like the Zodiac, all a load of bullshit, but people like to think it's as simple as a sign of your birth date to characterize who you are as a person. That's coming from a Pisces moon / Scorpio sun, by the way, which explains my creative streak and why I come off as an ever-angry psychopath. The promise of Cinderella always starts with her being orphaned and left penniless to the grace of her less than gracious stepmother. Which never made sense to me, why she should immediately lose her status when her stepmother married her father for the estate and money in the first place. I mean, is status so fickle back then that a person mistreated would immediately be reduced to servitude, never to be redeemed just because a person says so? Her stepmother treats her like dirt, makes her a servant, and changes her name from Ella to Cinderella because she was always dirty from having to clean out the cinders in everyone's fireplace. They receive an invitation to a ball where the prince is to choose a bride and Ella tries to go, but the stepmother and stepsisters foil her plan only for someone or something to magically appear to give her a really pretty dress that makes the prince go only to run away without revealing her identity. She always leaves behind something, be it a shoe, an iPod, her voice. Prince follows it to find his mysterious woman whom he decides to marry, and Cinderella is whisked away to live happily ever after. There are so many problems with this fairy tale when in comparison to reality, one of which being the why marry a stranger you literally just met trope.
You can't marry a man you just met.
Deny.
You can if it's true love.
But that one has been exploited and thwarted enough, I'm going to leave it alone. My biggest problem is the passiveness with which is given to the main character to the point of not only being a doormat, but a doormat being thrown over a clothing line and beaten to death enough times it is not even worth the effort. It's meant to represent how we should take on hardships with grace and humility, and always fighting is never the answer, but I would like one, just one version where Cinderella actually stands up for herself. Everyone literally tells her she doesn't have to take it, but she does anyway. Usually there's something on the line, whether it's a job, a college tuition, a friend's scholarship, and possible future. Well-reasoned excuses for the main character to lay down and just play dead. But in a way, this is kind of teaching us that is all there is that we can do in a bad situation. That if bad things happen, we shouldn't worry about correcting them or finding an alternate path or even coming to terms that things aren't the way they should be. It's a victim complex, and the older versions don't bother me as much because in the day there wasn't much to be fixed about status. Someone did have to come along and help with that because no one would listen if you were beneath them. You could reason and talk until you're blue in the face, the best that you would get is the stocks. And then you'd really be the town reject. So holding out hopes that someone of higher status and rank would come along to pull you out of the muck made sense. It does not make sense in these late adaptations, where the main character is literally victimizing herself for a single reason.
What's wrong? I've been calling Tammy trying to get a hold of you. What did I do?
It doesn't matter. It's done. We're done.
Wait. Whoa. What are you talking about?
Did you feel sorry for me? Was that your charity case? Is that why you asked me out?
What does that even
You figured
mean?
you could toy with me until someone better came along, and I wouldn't mind because I was lucky a big star wanted me.
She doesn't go to the people who are there for her to help and explain what is happening. She just takes it. And I think that in itself is kind of a dangerous message when it's on repeat so many times that every new adaptation isn't really an adaptation. This can take away from the greater lessons of standing up for yourself, recognizing that you are responsible for your own life and that you don't have to live like this. That things aren't always out of your control and you can do something to change if you're unhappy. Instead, we've been preached to about this victimization for literally everything, ranging from sex to the color of our skin to the place of employment as our rank on the social ladder. We've been told that this is what defines us. Putting people in these boxes may be the first step, but accepting this as the norm of what people think about us and that this is what defines us isn't just a dangerous message, it's a dangerous way of living. We can't control what people have to say or what people do or what they think about us. No matter how loud you yell hate speech, there will always be haters. Racists, sexists, and most of the time it's not personal, it's people. There will always be horrible, selfish, small-minded people, and there's nothing that we can do about it. What we can do is choose not to accept this as our means to define ourselves and place ourselves in the same box they are trying to label us in. We should be taught to define ourselves, not just through words, but also by action. Sometimes it's not so simple. Sometimes you are up against the odds. But most times, about most things, there is something we can do about it, and that's the good news.
And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us.
The one thing we have in this world is we can't control the events, but we can choose what to focus on, we can choose what things mean, and we can choose what to do. Those three choices, those three decisions really control our life.
You can always make a decision. That's always in your control. Staying with somebody that treats you like garbage is a decision. It is. Staying at a job that you hate is a decision. Staying in the body that you are not proud of is a decision. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy to change. It's simple. It's your job to push yourself.
And I'm not saying that Cinderella can't be redone and watched and enjoyed, but I will close by saying this is why Ever After is superior to literally every version I've seen. She was a fighter. She couldn't help her social status, but she fought against the odds. She didn't let her family's opinions of her rule her. She obeyed with grace and silence to make it easier on herself, but then turned around and took matters in her own hands. When she knew she did wrong, she fought with the inner conflict of needing to do the right thing. She took care of her family, she took life in her own hands, and all the responsibilities that came with it. The Cinderella message is old and has been redone to death, but I do know people underestimate the power of a good story, the power of influence. Most people are more than happy to sit back and not do anything to better their situation. It's easier to be comfortable with where you're at and just complain and put the blame and give reason after reason after reason why their dreams and goals are unrealistic and impossible. I only recently realized I have the right to take my own life in my hands, and it is changing me as a person. I will struggle with doubts and the hard feelings of being a burden to people who don't like me, but I can't control that. I don't have to let it bring me down and keep me from working and moving up. I have a choice to either stay as I am, where I am, or strive to move up. Let me tell you, I'm ready to go.